was, but it's not going to matter. Kirk on the flank finds it down onto one. Riot's already down, so it's a technical 1 versus 2. And Bry just swung to his death. Twizzler on the top floor will look to retrieve their teammate, but Kirk can find the timing and clutch it out. An ace for Kirk.
But Spider still gets a kill, and then Xer not ready for it in the corner, but oh my goodness, he gets the kill anyways!
He gets the kill, Teddy left alive. He does it yet again for Mirage!
He's low on health, especially when the Vulcan canisters are in play, but now Ambi low as well, but he takes the kill anyways! He's still left, but with 15 seconds and not too much intel as to where they are, it's not looking great for him, but he's just got the isolated frag on aim key, and the last one's left in Freezer. This could be a very easy pick to find if he just looks in the right corners with the shotgun as well. He'll be lethal in the close range. A 1-on-2 for the Gridlock.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm here again alongside with my main man Spaz. I'm bald now, but the only difference is it's just hair. What's under this mind is just passion. Spaz, my friend, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I am feeling delightful. We have two teams that are going to be ready to ballot it off. We're going to be at a quarterfinal stage, so I feel like we're going to be in for a quite interesting matchup, especially when we reveal where we're going to be going with certain maps. How about you, Spaz?
Yeah, it's gonna be a really nice one right at the end. You got one more till the actual final or the semis, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of people being really desperate or being very eager to get these rounds going and get out. Probably gonna be a bloodbath of a showcase today.
These teams, they really know what is in mind for them. They've both had their struggles, and they've both had very easy times when it's come to certain areas of these rounds. You've had areas where they've struggled on the first map. You've had areas where they just breeze by a team. And that's happened for both sides, really. So it's going to be a very interesting lineup. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who's facing off today, we have True Synergy Gaming facing up against SpaceShoobs Academy. Lining up for Shoobs, we're going to have Soapy, Pip, Adept, Scary, and Lecky. And taking a look at True Synergy Gaming, we are going to be seeing for this very passionate team, Mookie, Rin, Penguin, Jig, and Toxin. These teams are actually going to be the only two teams that we're going to be seeing for this week before we head on over to the semifinal, or if there's another stream on Sunday. Taking a look at our map bans, we have a little bit of an interesting setup today. We've seen both of these teams last week line up on these maps. We've seen ban 1 being Chalet, the second Clubhouse, that already takes out their two most popular bans. The third being Consulate, because if Consulate's not banned, are you really passionate? Everybody hates it. Cafe, a little bit of a surprising one, and taking us over to our first two picks, we're going to have surprisingly on the board Layer and Border. And then taking us through the rest of our bans, we are going to have Bank and Skyscraper, leaving the best for last. We have Nighthaven on the board. How are you feeling about this Layer pick here, Spaz?
I'm feeling really good about it. It's definitely one of those pocket picks that a lot of people try to hold back from because it's one of those newer maps. People don't really like it. Like how Skyscraper came out, everybody was not a fan of it at first. And I think now we're finally getting to the point where people are getting familiar with the map, and now we're really going to be starting to see not just randomly thrown plays together. It's going to be actually coordinated strikes and seeing what kind of creative intuition people have coming to this map.
I mean, I completely agree with that, considering we have seen Chalet and Clubhouse for these two teams last week and the week before that. You've had them go to overtime in most of these maps. They've struggled on it, but they've prevailed both times on each of their maps. They won it, so you would have thought they would take it to their picks, but no, they're going to completely throw a curveball. We haven't seen either team play Layer or Border in this playoffs series so far, so this runoff is going to be a little interesting. It kind of just took a spaz of a 180 backflip, if you will, but one of these teams sadly has had 43 rounds played in their previous series. If we get around to that many rounds, I think me and you are going to be completely out of breath. It is going to be interesting, but Layer is where the surprises are going to await us and these two mysterious teams. I'm quite interested to see where this Layer pick came out of and if they're going to be passionate enough to be able to reinforce their game.
Yeah, the layer, they're probably just trying to get a little quick start, probably something to just throw them off because, of course, you got Border and Labs, two more played than Layer itself. Layer is probably one of the least played maps of all season across all boards right now. Definitely not the favorite map. So if they can get some decent picks and bans in this little map, it'll be able to pretty much title the wave of who's going to be able to take the nice leading start to the series. I think, personally, overpowering picks that you need to get rid of, got to get rid of the Blitz. There's too many corners and stuff. I would get him out of there. But the Monty, just as good too. Being able to take him out, not letting them just be able to push and not have basically somebody that's unkillable, not really entirely, but just like a human drone being able to not go in there and get intel is huge. But for defensive wise, I would say Azami, just being able to make all the pixel peaks, especially with as many breakable walls as there is, she is definitely going to be somebody that we're going to be seeing getting banned. Dokkaebi, of course, just to help with the rushes, so they can't use any sound to their advantage. Of course, that still leaves open for the Ying, as she should be fixed now with her recent update. So she's back on the board for a lot of leagues, and probably a lot of different multi-planar rushes.
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
That's a really ballsy pick, just because Tubro is such a nice counter, especially if you don't have somebody bandit tricking or K tricking. It buys you that extra time and just keeps them off site. So with them banning the Tubro, they must have a lot of confidence of like they're gonna be able to hold site without them.
There are 3 external walls for that upstairs site, so having Tabaro could have been a very essential pick, but personally, casting Lair, I've only gone to it twice now. You haven't seen much Tabaro integration unless it's here for denying the hatch. Valk, a very, very classic ban, and she's among the highest banned in this league. So all of these bans, 3 out of 4, made perfect sense. Taking a look at Tabaro might be a little bit confusing here, but again, it's all about what they are trying to do, what they're trying to deny. So we don't know, because we are on their first round. We need to see how they're going to be able to mold this map to their liking, and I think from there, we'll be able to really tell what story or what narrative they are really trying to push here. Looking upstairs, we're going to have the very, very simple site setup with the staple operators being brought. You have your main roamer being the Vigil. You have the Smoke as your denial lining up alongside with your wall deny on Kaid, and the Mira and the Warden to be around that site and make it a little bit more challenging for these attackers to make it open season when they get these walls open.
Yeah, and as you can see on the offensive side, they have both the Maverick and the Ace. Definitely going to go for a multi-push from different angles. Probably send the Maverick onto the outside and then let that Ace try to get control of the hallways and trying to basically take control of that little U there of the main lobby. If they can get control of the main U and be able to get the Maverick to make some holes on the balcony on the outside, they'll definitely have enough sightline to be able to pick people off and get it to like a 3-5 scenario to be able to take sight easier, or at least get control of the majority of the map.
Seeing how they're lining up here, looking like we're going to be going in for 1 roamer. And the attackers, they have the spear entry, and she's going to have the main protection of this Blackbeard. Have to be mindful if there is going to be a C4 from below, but right now that doesn't look like that is something that is going to be a main worry. Penguin has that drone preset as a just in case. But they can walk in to operational here with little to no contest, as they're just waltzing in, covering a lot of ground, and that's exactly why shield ops have been the meta this season. They can cover so much ground, and they don't have to risk about sticking their face into a door, but that's a first pick here for Scary. What a shot, and that's the first pick and first blood of this series and of this map, as Mira not afraid to open it up and is already getting very aggressive, making these attackers rethink their approach to operational.
Yeah, that was a great play from Mira. They knew that the Blackbeard was outside in the corner, and they knew that there was not any support from them behind as they were covering their 6 and trying to drone it out. So Mira pushed it, contested it, and won the fight. Pokeball going out, and below, Ariel getting a kill onto it, as well as Penguin killing Ariel in the trade. But now you're in a 3-4 offense with the only 3 attackers. You still have Ace with the 2, like I think he has 1 or 2 charges left. You can still get a wall, but right now you're so scarce. You got to group together and figure out what you're going to do to get into the site.
He has 1 Selma charge left in his pocket, and right now it's open season because everything is electrified off here. That quick shot by Piff got him a good kill, but he got refragged instantly. But this is a win for the defenders. They have a minute left on the clock. They've gotten rid of 2 very, very essential players to get this site And right now, they are good to just relax, sit back, and wait for the attackers to come to them. Look at how much time, look at how much utility and attacker resources they're wasting. Ashe has to waste so many bullets trying to find this Electro Claw, and finally she finds it, but after what? 45 seconds left. 3 smoke canisters left in that pocket, and Soapy himself has a C4 left there. So much left to do here for these attackers, and these defenders just need to keep running down the clock. Vertical almost established here. Mira getting hit down to 1 HP and picked off. Beautiful display of teamwork here. Evened out here by Penguin as he's on a double in 20 seconds as the clock starts to run down. Lots left to do here for both sides now that it's been evened out. Smoke getting rid of his utility economy very fast. He could have waited for that plant to go down, but he's been using them. He still has his mirror intact. Uses that last one, but is it too late? Quick refrag here as she gets a frag and gets refragged. 2 seconds left on the plant, and guess what? You don't have your toxic babes. Getting aggressive here. Isolates it to a 2v1. Make that a 2v nothing as Adept gets a triple kill to isolate the first round for Shoobs Academy.
Perfect execution from Shoobs. That was a nice play by TSG, going from underground, using the Ash Charge to not only get the K, but also being able to get the kill onto Mira. But as soon as the 3v4 happened, Shoobs just backed up, and they all just kind of hunkered down in sight, and they knew that time was on their side. They only had about 50 seconds, so there was going to be a rush into sight, and they had enough players to hold enough angles and luckily do whatever they needed to do to counterflank or as well as just push the enemy. As, of course, the saying goes, more man than bullets. You're going to be able to kill the guy before he kills all of you.
Couldn't have put it in a better sentence, honestly. Speaking my mind here, and it was a beautiful first round, a good opener, eye-opener for TSG as they have a lot to do now when it comes to meeting the level from Shoobs Academy. But I do think they're not going to struggle with this. Just look at how they were playing. Beautiful teamwork here. Penguin not scared to get in below. Take his time to look for that utility. Look for the verticality. Even got himself a pick off of it. He did a great job to make the map his. Used his utility, used his gun, and then awarded him 2 picks. Now, how can the team start to work together here to try to forward themselves into winning a round? Because this is one of those sites that you can do anything. You can go upstairs, you can bunker down, or you can just hope to God the attackers don't check the corners and you will be gifted free kills. So we need to see what's in store for us, but it looks like they'll be going for that round, and they're going to have multiple roamers with multiple black mirrors upstairs to be playing this very odd setup that I actually don't think I've ever seen before.
This is basically just called the heaven play. A lot of people call it differently. This is just to ensure that, because it's on the bottom floor, the sites are. So no matter what, you're going to see most of your attackers go for the verticality, for the hatches, as well as all the soft flooring on the top. So that's where they're all setting up the top. Of course, there is still going to be some resistance, so you don't want everybody. They got their anchors down below. And I do believe that I did see Piff down below, and I think him and Scary are definitely the 2 best ones to keep down there just because of their time wastability. And Soapy able to get a pick onto Toxin off the bat and easily making it a 5v4 with the roam. And as I was saying, he's basically just wanting to keep it down to where they are just wasting all their util on the bottom and not going to have any for the top versatility for the vertical play.
There is no way to excuse that first pick. You've lost a very essential part of your attacking roster. It's not how you play Siege. You have to be mindful of what's going on upstairs. These attackers went for a warehouse push here, but they didn't check above them, and that was a big problem. There you go. That's a double kill for Shoobs as Piff finds a headshot onto Penguin. Lots to do here. The only sacrifice that Shoobs has taken is the HP of Piff, but now they can all sit back in sight and hope for the best, but that's not what they're going to do. They have the attackers checking the corners, checking everything now because they have to keep their head on a swivel. There's defenders above. There's some of them soft roaming, and you have so many angles to check now with key pieces of utility missing. No more blowtorch and no more drones, but that doesn't matter. Monkey's just gonna walk in, get an easy kill onto Soapy, and that opens up that killing charter for TSG. Still lots to be done here, but that quick flick is going to get another kill here for TSG. Make that 3 as Cheek finds a kill of his own, and it looks like getting aggressive was the main idea. Shotgun, you have to win a gunfight. You'll get it down, but you'll have Cheek to find that easy refrag. C4 raining in. Can that find a double? We'll just finish off that ace, and a quick shot by Brava will make that triple for her, and finally giving TSG a round for themselves. Kind of a quick turn of events as they just walked in and just took the gunfights one-on-one.
Yeah, that was great. Still a great hold from the Shoobs at the very beginning, but as soon as Mucky got that first kill, he just got aggressive and kept taking ground. That's the game of the play. You got to take the ground when you get the kill, and he did it perfectly. Every time he got a kill, he took that room. Whether it was still occupied or somewhat still being watched, he didn't care. He got his team the ground he needed so they can start to encase that lower site. Now, something that Shoobs Academy could have done that I think they were kind of going a little slow was they had all those roamers upstairs. They could have easily flanked down behind them and probably could have pinched them and just kind of like held them there for a little bit longer, played the time. Now, whether the kills would have played out the same, I don't know, but definitely time could have been wasted there and at least stalled out to where they wouldn't have been able to gain as much ground even with those kills. The refragability from TSG would have been there, but so would have been for Shoobs.
It was a little interesting. They got 2 first picks. They decided to take their time, which is very understandable. They decided to relax, not get too aggressive, but that ended up costing them the round. You can get aggressive. You can try to flank. When you essentially sit back and wait to be isolated and picked off one by one, that's exactly how the round is going to end. And I don't know what else they expected. They paid the price, and hopefully Lucky or somebody who stays on the second floor will be able to stay away from the basement and just be that disruptor operator who kind of just interrupts the attacking synergy. They interrupt that chemistry and make the attackers check upstairs and check the other areas which wasn't on their game plan to be able to get in the building or try to get this plant down. But looks like TSG taking a different approach, not going for the basement directly and doing a lot of external droning first. And hopefully this is going to set them up even better now where they don't have to suffer 2 first picks and get a smoother attacking going.
Yeah, definitely good. Probably take their time. They'll probably still try to get somebody on the main aggression for the basement push just to get into the dock side and all that. But definitely getting rid of a roamer or even just one roamer. I was going to say 2, but if you just get one of them, they're roaming capabilities are going to be so much worse just because now they're going to worry about the outmanned force of going around. Because on the last round, they were up 3-5, so they had a little bit more pressure. If they were able to take out just one, their roamers are going to have to start playing a lot more cautiously and slower, more than they did before. But right now, Lucky trying to get aggressive again, trying to get those picks as he gets right there in personal with Piff.
Might work out for him here. Almost found that first pick, but quickly shot out by Soapy. Good shot here. Not a single inch of damage done to the man, and he got taken care of. That's the first pick, and still lots to go for Shoobs and TSG. You got rid of that spear operator. Now she can't get rid of the Miras. What's next on the chopping block? We saw Scary and how easy he was to just throw down all of his toxic babes. Let's see if he can preserve them for this late round play, but SpaceShoobs off to a great start. And again, all of the defenders right back to site.
Yeah, right now, Ariel just need to pretty much keep it back. Piff holding the tight corner right there, having his toxins ready, and probably going to swing if there's one above that door right there, which I think there might be, but I don't know. I wasn't able to see if it was there. But the double cross right there, Soapy able to just peek it, and with the knowledge from Piff calling it out. And here we are, maybe for another refrag right here.
Waiting for that corner. He knows there was somebody in the corner, but quick rotate out from showers will allow the striker to have an easy position reset. Beautiful first 2 kills here for Soapy. Ace needs to pre-fire. He knows. Lands even more damage onto Soapy, and there you go. Penguin finally finishing the job, but taking more damage to this Fenrir. But why would you swing? There's only 20 seconds left. Toxic Babe pushing them off of Missile Hall. But after what? You've evened out the playing field. 3 bodies for each side and 10 seconds left. There you go, Adept. He'll find a kill of his own. That's a double for Adept. And 7 seconds left. Can he find his third? No, he cannot. Scary to close out the round. And there you go, Shoobs. Lots to be polished and refined, but right now you've reclaimed the lead, and that's all that matters.
And I almost thought they were going to get over aggressive. They started pouring in, and I was like, "Oh man, don't throw this, guys. You have the lead. You have the time." That's exactly where people start making mistakes, right at that 30-second mark. Even if you're winning the round, you can easily make a mistake. So right now, that was still a great hold, like they did before at the very beginning. They knew the time was on their side. They knew they had the players on their side. Even though they did get aggressive, they didn't send everybody. They sent 1 or 2 just to try to get the kills, just to make it even easier at the end. And as you can see, they just held the angles and just shot them like fish in a barrel. And we're going back up top, and hopefully they know, since the Blackbeard was able to take the use so much faster, will they have somebody there to kind of contest it, or are they just going to give that up and kind of play a mirror wall on that? You know, in my opinion, I would probably just give the U up. It's so little space, and if you're holding that U, you can get shot from lobby, you can get grenaded so easily. Like, it's just a really dangerous hold. If you're gonna hold it, I'd probably go to the armory side hallway and just kind of watch the stairs, and then just let them have the other one, because you're not gonna get shot and somebody will be watching the doorway. But it does look like they might contest it. Warden did look like he was gonna be in the vicinity and visual, looking for maybe a quick little kill coming from the bottom bathroom.
Maybe a little chaos here is what they're looking for. They brought that Sens. They also have the Grim. It's going to be a little bit interesting once we see what is going to happen. They don't have a hard breacher, so they're going to have to funnel in from one area of the map. Something I've been seeing for TSG, though, they get their mindset on one play and one play only. They don't really adapt. On basement, we saw them push warehouse twice now. They only went in to showers and missile hall, and that's what cost them to just funnel in. And as you said it, just shooting fish in a barrel. You had one option. It was to go in through one of two doors, and that's what made you pay the price. They need to switch it up, maybe go in from the backside, maybe try to take it from a different part of the map, but that is what is going to cost them to suffer. Right now, taking a look at this round, Mookie the first one to take damage off of Smoke's Toxic Babes. Lots to do here, and they are switching it up this time. Not a full operational push, but still lots to be done here. If one person just walks in, Vigil walks, able to just deactivate or use his ability, get past that drone, and has very easy kills on his hands. One easy first pick, but a quick refrag by Toxin will leave it at a stalemate, 4v4, as Blackbeard seems to be the next blood, or maybe this Sens now, 5 HP next to his name. He'll find it at death. Soapy dealing damage, but taking more. Double kill from that C4 from Lecky. And that's a minute 30 on the clock, as now Rin left to do so much more than that was intended, and he will be shut out by Lecky. What a turn of events. One kill turned into 4. C4 coming in from Jordan himself. And what a well-deserved round by SpaceShoobs.
Man, Lecky with the freaking NFL toss across 2 rooms almost, and was able to get the double in the corner, completely turning the tide from that push. Because right there was like neck to neck, a little bit of stalemate, like you said. And as soon as that C4 went off, it just threw it all to plunder. He was able to just secure it. He's like, no, we're just gonna shut this down now. Completely shut him out. And honestly, a great play by Lecky. And playing on that mirror, man, he's able to just have so much confidence going into those fights, and I think that's what's kind of helping them right now and just keeping up. Lecky is definitely having a showcase, 3-1 right now, but just the movement and basically just being able to stall all that time that he's able to have been stealing, just a great play overall.
Makes you really wonder, why is he so effective on the mirrors upstairs, but once we get to downstairs, he kind of just leaves them to chance and goes for gunfights. Lots of questions that need to be answered here, but again, not much that are going to mean anything if they are answered, because it's working out for them regardless. They have 1 loss, and since then, they have been nothing but winning. They are playing as a team, and that's the main thing we can tell apart from the Shoobs Academy and TSG. They're kind of just going on and doing their own thing. Shoobs has a plan, and they execute it almost perfectly. Shield Op seeming not to be working here for the attacker side, so hopefully trying something different may allow them to enter the building, get the utility down, and then look for an execute without needing to depend on that one man to get in the building.
Well, the TSG's 1 round that they were in the very bottom, whenever they were pushing really fast and having that fast-paced attack, they did really well. They got a lot of picks, they got a lot of ground, so maybe they need to start trying to be more aggressive, start taking more fights, not really just into like mirrors like this right here. You don't really want to walk right into this because you're gonna get seen, but never mind. Lucky, he's like, I'm gonna show you up right now, and he's right there being aggressive as he was the first round. So this is definitely something that Shoobs Academy need to be ready for, because when he's on the whenever he's on the roam, especially with Deimos, he's going to be tracking people down. He is definitely in the mindset of, we're going after everybody in the top floor, and then we're going to site. We're going to make sure that all of our flanks are cleared. They have the Nomad for that, and they have the Maverick for all the pretty much small ones. But here we go, a little bit of action right there. Legion, Adept, holding off that corner, being able to call it out, but they're going to be able to pretty much go any route at this point because they have so much room now on the second floor. But it doesn't matter. Penguin is now going to take out Scary, making it a 5v3.
Oh my god, just mayhem ensues. What? Just close my eyes for 1 second. Blink, you miss all the action. What the hell just happened? What a recovery for Shoobs. That's 3 kills for Piff. 1 through C4, 2 from the Vector, and Ace is left in a 3v1. You guys were up 2 bodies. What the hell just happened? Verticality covered. You can't take a gunfight from everywhere without being isolated. Ace, so much left to do here, and not a single defender from above will peek you until you walk into their crosshairs, and that's Piff for a quad kill. And yes, a timeout is what you need. What an interesting turn of events. They just got shut out completely. There's no doubt about it. Yes, sometimes this map is defender sided, but holy, they have just lost 4 bodies in a matter of 4 seconds. You cannot allow that to happen, and hopefully that's something that they will instantly address right before this attacker-defender switch.
I think from what I saw happen, because it was just like I just got done and I closed my eyes and it was a kill feed. I think there was I think Lecky got 2 kills holding the Legion mirror wall, and then I think it was either Piff or Soapy, or no, it was Piff or Scary got a C4 kill at the same time, all at the same time. So I think what happened is they pushed the mirror wall, he probably swung, or they came through another area, he was able to see through the mirror, got the double kill, and then Piff at the same time threw a C4 from below, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because he was the mirror. Yeah, he threw it from below and was able to kill whoever's next to Ace, and then that's how all that transpired.
Little interesting here. Was not expecting that. I kind of think you hit the nail on the head earlier when you were just talking about that aggression that needs to be seen. We just saw TSG waltz into the building, swing anything, and it worked out for them. They got 2 first picks, and it was all peachy for them for the first 30 seconds until whatever the hell just happened. But right now, maybe that approach is what will help them win. Maybe rely more on your gun skill and a little bit less on your utility will help you win games. This is a team tactical shooter, but there's still lots to be done when you are getting pumped 4-1 and that teamwork just really isn't working out for you.
Well, what's also hard is Shoobs right now, they're mixing up how they're roaming every single time. They're either going verticality, they're going underneath, they're staying within sight, doing like a lurker stance, you know, going between the 2 sites and like the rooms around it. You know, they keep changing it up, and there's no way for TSG right now to adapt to it. You know, they're trying to go aggressive. Well, then you're missing out of all the action below yourself. So like that's how that C4 happened. That's how they're able to get killed by the Legion. That's how they've been flanked. So being able to just take each round and learn for it, especially going into the second half, as this is the last round for the first half, you definitely just need to get in the mindset of, okay, first half, not too well. We need to be thinking of how they'll attack against themselves, you know? You're going to go, like, if you could beat your own attack, your own defense. Here we go, C4 on the door, barely misses him. But right now, they just need to be very cautious, try to secure this round, make it a 4-2.
Honestly, the only thing they can hope for is to win this round, because that tie is not essentially a tie, but that round win at the end really gives you the hope that you need, because that 5-1 scoreline looks very, very different from that 4-2. 4-2 is very manageable, but is a 5-1, especially from the aggression from Shoobs Academy. They literally stick their face. They swing anything that moves within the first pick, and that's exactly how they always manage to find the first. That's Soapy onto Toxin, and that takes care of the Capitao, who is a essential piece of that last round play, or that last second round play where you're trying to cover somebody for a plant, push people off of corners. You've lost him now with his flame bolts in the pocket. What is next? Because now they can sit back like they did the previous rounds and just wait for you to come to them. That's something they are very good at doing. Shoobs allow the players to come to them after they find a very easy first pick and then pick them off one by one.
Yeah, right now they're just keeping them all outside. I think there's only 1 or 2 people within the actual building themselves. I think everybody else for TSG is still outside the building. And like you said, Capitao gone. That's your smoke. That's your rotate capability gone. Right there, a little quick peek trying to get a kill on the outside. They know he's on the stairs. Just back off. Why try to take it? You have 2 corners you got to watch. And like, it's just not worth it. Ripping down it. There goes Ren, able to get Scary, trying to do the little quick peek outside, but Adept getting mucky.
Quick refrag here puts him back on the board. a little bit under a minute left here, and still so much to dissect here for TSG. It's definitely leaning in the favor of Shoobs, but if there's anything we've learned, anything can happen. And Zofia really trying to get aggressive. Penguin, what the hell did you think was going to happen? Easy headshot here for Lecky. That's a double kill for him, and that's a 4v1 left for Rin. Outside the building, the kid is in the hand, but he can't even get past the first block as the man Lecky will find triple kill. Top stairs. Back down on the window. Anybody who swings him will get taken care of, and that's exactly what has happened. Shoobs walk away with 5 rounds in hand.
Yeah, they did very well in the defense, but it all comes down to what you do on the other side. Just because you have a good defensive side does not mean it's going to go translate into your offensive. Their offensive might be atrocious or even worse than TSG's. We won't know until as we play, but definitely it looks like that Shoobs have a better handling. Right now, if we're going off of the rounds alone, it looks like they have a better understanding of the map and how to play it. But just because you know that doesn't mean you still won't lose rounds. Right now, I'm liking what I'm seeing from TSG. They're bringing in the Bandit, they're bringing in the Mirror, they're bringing in the Smoke. 3 picks right there. You have a wall denial, you have angle hold, and then you have time hold. Then you have 2 free picks. They have a Mute and a Legion. The Legion probably just to be a roamer or a lurker, being able to just pretty much stall time, getting those Legions out of their foot, just to waste a few seconds. And then the Smoke, of course, another wall denial. If you want to just kind of waste time and utility on one side, you can, or you can just use it for his guns overpowered. He has a shotgun that's really good, and of course his MP5 is just as good too. So overall, great characters to pick, but Adept bringing out the Flores, definitely going to be a more aggressive kind of character. You know, he's going to be going for a lot of probably more aggressive pushes here, trying to take out maybe utility, maybe not even focus on getting the kills. It's a great drone to be able to get utility, use the drone holes in small angles to just take out whatever you can and open up other stuff too, open up walls with it. It does have a great blast radius. So seeing how they're going to be really intricate with this is going to be nice.
I mean, very professional analysis, but taking a little bit of the unprofessional side while we wait for these guys to get the wall open. Toxin's name has BTA in it, but it seems like he's the one who's taking the belt to ass. He's 1-6 currently. Has the C4, has the shotgun, so he can do a lot on defense, but on attack, he got completely dissected here, and hopefully that doesn't translate. You said literally 30 seconds ago it might not translate, and we have to hope for TSG's sake that that isn't what is going to happen here, because as of right now, Shoobs Academy is just finding the picks. They're finding the gaps and they're capitalizing. That's honestly what you could ask of anyone. Quite an early smoke canister here for Cheek is going to put him down here to 2 canisters, and that is going to be something he's going to need to be careful of, as we are only a minute and 20 seconds into the round. And he'll get downed as well, so make that 0 canisters until he will get rest. First pick in the favor of Ren, as he'll take care of Scary. And lots of action here. Adept finishes Cheek. That is your denial gone, dusted. What is happening? Kill feeds always just reign in this game. Penguin finding Adept piff onto Mookie, and now leaving the attackers down 1 man. Still lots to be done here, as there is still plenty of time. Are you going to call a reset? Are you going to wait? Selma charges at 0, meaning this operational close wall will not be opened up fully. So you're going to have to crouch into it. How has nobody heard him crouch through it? Right now, Piff just waltzing in. Soapy getting the bomb down. Very easy plant here if he can deny just using the C4. Mute really trying to use it. He will land the C4. Toxin finally doing something for his team, but not before he'll get refragged out. He's denied the plant, and that is good for this round. Leaving a 1v2 situation. 44 seconds left to stick the bomb. And pros don't fake. You know how the saying goes. And now you need to isolate 2 of your 1v1s, but very similar to that first round here, as Shoobs have the tables reversed on them, and the same exact thing happens. Same outcome. 2v0, Diffuse goes down, and TSG take it home.
Yep, they definitely learned from the first map. They said, "Do me, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you." And they definitely used the pretty much the same kind of tactic. Not really as the operator side, just kind of using time and using your advantages. You know, you have the player advantage. They didn't push into it. They took their time and they played it right. Honestly, I would have just let the plant go. And of course, doing so, Mute was able to get the C4 kill pretty far distance. He threw it over the half wall, all the way over to the corner. But doing so, he didn't push in. He didn't risk himself getting killed. He risked himself getting traded, of course, but he was able to get the diffuser. That was the main thing. You either go for the person diffusing, or you just wait and then you push as a group 3v2. And they just played it the same. They let them get the diffuser again and just kind of encircled him and was able to just get the kill.
A little bit interesting here, but it looks like both teams are going to be going for the same bare bones site. They'll have that smoke setting up upstairs. The only thing that's different here is TSG does not have that Mira. Shoobs have a shield up, not the one that we would expect to see. Blackbeard is very much available, but they are going to prefer Monty's little brother. They have that blitz on board. Now, shield ups have just not been a easy trend for either of these teams. It has not been working out. Nobody's managed to make them work, and I'm kind of hoping to see it work at least once. I want to see that chaos ensue, and right now that's just not something that we will be seeing. Verticality definitely being brought, and it looks like they either will be going for a top down or dealing with these roamers one by one.
Yeah, it looks like Scary's just going to go on the roam and probably get followed up by Adept or somebody. And actually, no, they're already on the bottom floor. They're going to go straight into site, it looks like, and just try to get a main push, probably with the Ash. So that'd be Piff and Scary going into the main site, probably just to get a pick or two of the anchors, while the rest try to get the roamers on the top side.
Still lots to be done here. Verticality being established, so it's more than TSG have done on their attacks for this basement site. We're seeing two very different styles here of defense and attack. I mean, it is expected, but we're not seeing one team just funnel into a side of the building. They're kind of just scattering here, taking as much map control as possible, but maybe that's not for the best, as the first pick will go from a dual roam here between Penguin and Cheek to get a kill onto Piff, and that is your spear entry taken care of. Still, they have a lot of time to make this work, but just look at how many roamers there are. There's only one man that's actually in the site. Everybody else is either soft or hard roaming. Verticality done, yes, but are the hatches open? Do you have a game plan to try to take filtration here? Because you have a shotgun, canisters, and a mute jammer to deal with here if you try to go down. A minute 30 seconds is going to make you question your ability to be able to drone properly or take your gunfights all in a timely manner.
Yeah, right now it's just a lot of stalemate, and honestly, Shoobs, they need to start trying to figure out another way, because right now, if they're not willing to push these angles that they're holding, they need to just try to figure something out. Oh my gosh, Penguin, how do you miss the shots?
Oh god. Looks like he just closed his eyes as he was aiming here. Big whiff might be the fate of this round, as Lecky will be left on the ground, and there you go, he's finished off by Cheek. You cannot be blundering those shots here, honestly, for both teams. That'll be a 2v4. Under a minute left now. In Blitz, still at 100 HP. Looks like he's trying to take map control, but after what? Absolutely nothing has been done in this amount of time, and now they'll be forced to rush site. And honestly, no breaches open, no utility claimed, and the hatches are going to remain closed. So a Call of Duty type of round where everybody's going to have to stick their face in a door is going to be probably the main objective here.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to just push in right here, get the human drone in, and follow it up, and kill City.
Walks right into site. Woo! Woo! What is going on here? 1v3. Soapy left in the 1v3. I don't even know. I looked down for 1 second. Scary's just waltzed in the site here. Being held at bay by the canister. 50 HP. The F0 is going to be the final case that'll decide this round. No way he will take out 3 bodies. They are very low, but the breaches are closed. And you're going to bait for your... Wow. You're baiting for your KD. You're already 4 and 6. Just swing. But no. TSG will claim their second round. It looks like your caster's philosophy is coming to life. I guess it just doesn't translate over to their attack, because we haven't seen any form of uniform pushes here, as they have been suffering for these 2 rounds. They still have the lead, so still lots to be done, but Shoobs Academy, they have something to fix here.
Yeah, it's just, I don't think that they're trying to, it kind of looked like that Shoobs is just kind of trying to throw things in. They had so much confidence in the defense. I don't think they're really taking TSG a little serious in this map. It's now 5-3. They are starting to lower, they're trying to close that gap right now, and I think Shoobs need to actually start, it's not really trying per se. They need to start coming up with strats that are not one-dimensional. You know, they go one way. They have went multiple ways, but nothing that can happen, you know, nothing to actually make openings, to make breaches, not to make more lines of sight, map control. It's like that one map. We wasted, I think it was 45 seconds on that last one. If they keep wasting that time, they're just setting themselves up for failure. You can't waste time. Every 10 seconds is a play that was not made. In some room, in some map take, in some breach, you have to use it. Whenever, I always say 45 seconds on the clock. If you're not even close to sight, you have lost the round. So they need to get within a room, get to where they have 2 ways in, to where you have 2 different lines of fire. Heck, it could be one room on the north side, one room on the west side. It might just be right next to each other, but still you have 2 different lines of sight to see different angles and to be able to push aggressively. But as we see right now, they're kind of getting scattered and trying to take out one of the roamers right now.
Couldn't have worded it better here. Time is just the only thing here in this game that has been a crucial factor for both teams. There are the utility, there is the gunfights, yes, but both teams here on attack, we haven't seen them do anything in a timely fashion. We've seen them suffer with their utility here, and that is the first blood as Mookie gets absolutely fragged out of his position. Not much you can do here. Angles are being held, you're dead either way, and he tried to go out in the commendable way. Die or die trying. That's exactly what we saw. Double kill here as Scary finds another onto Rin. And what is going on? They are finally learning what to do here. A third as Piff finds a kill. Toxin, though, trying to stop this killing spree, but is it too late? 4v2 here, and the upstairs hold has been completely dissected. One man that stands in between full access of that floor, and the defenders make that too. Where the hell did Legion come from? Sight is completely vulnerable now. You have the Solstice's ability, but you have 4 players to worry about. The shield op still on the board. So much control that is left in the hands of these attackers here. And Legion just has that siege time and cannot land a headshot here. All trying to land their bullets, but they haven't been able to use a single one yet because these attackers are taking their time. Ash has already waltzed into bunks. There has to be a bulletproof camera on her, and she will be detected. Looking for that plant. Solus knows what's on the board here. We're only a minute in here. So much left to do. So much time. But Adept really trying to make these defenders suffer by getting aggressive here. He'll win the gunfight. The plant will go down. What was the point in bringing the Solus if she won't even use her ability? That Shoobs for a very surprising, very quick turn here. We saw them with no teamwork last 2 rounds out. And now they've just completely flipped the table, sending themselves to match point after a very well-deserved round.
Yeah, that was a great momentum shift, and doing so, Scary just popping off him, and then Lecky getting that grenade kill, or it was Piff, I don't know which one it was, but they got that grenade kill, you know, to get so much control and just waltzed right in. And as you said, they had both nobody on site, and as soon as you said that, I don't know if you noticed, Adept realized that he saw 2 people shooting on the top, did the math, and he grabbed the Blackbeard, and he's like, hey, get to site now, we got a free plant. Because no one's on site. You should never leave site unattended. As soon as it became a 4v2, they both should have booked it down the spiral stairs that they were right beside and got onto site. And maybe left one to a 1-and-1, 1 roam, 1 stay on site. But they definitely should not have left site open. They walked right in through the main door, which they could have definitely had pre-aimed and ready to fire upon. And they kind of threw that round. As soon as you get down to even a 4v5, you should start retreating, getting closer back to site. You should not have that many roamers. The philosophy, I couldn't speak right there. The philosophy, I always say, is when you lose a defender, that roamer becomes an anchor. You always take one away, so it's always 1 for 1. Okay, 1 backs off, 1 backs off. That way you always have somebody roaming, but then you have more for your anchorage site. Because then the site, that's all that matters. It's a site-placed game. It's about defusing the bomb. If you have no one there to defuse, to defend the defuse, they're gonna get it just like they did before.
I mean, maybe they should just listen to the casters for 1 round, see the outcome of it, because we could have been seeing a completely different narrative. It could have been 5-4 here if they had just listened to that beautiful philosophy, but I guess we will never know. Right now, they're going to need to fix it, TSG, without the assistance of our beautiful, lovely voices, and what we can see here, they have to do a lot. And right now, being dissected like that in a matter of a minute and 30 seconds is something you need to take into the next round, because you need to know what you need to do differently. You got isolated for a 1v1v1v1. It was not a 5v5 there. It was 5 separate isolated gunfights that caused them the round. And that's something they need to dissect here, because if they lose this round, they're done for map 1. And it's going to be a pain in the ass to have to play catch up for the rest of the series.
Yeah, you definitely won't be playing catch up. It's always sucking going into the next map or the next part of the series down by 1. And you definitely want to try to make the first map not really go as long as you can, but you want it to like kind of be mentally challenging. You want to hit them where it hurts. But right now, as I'm saying this, they are definitely going aggressive with this. Smoke's already being popped off, utility being used, and they are just going for the win on this. Shoobs being super aggressive, trying to get just any inch they can into A site to get this quick plant. And right now they're getting the setup. Maverick outside, ready to get the outside wall to maybe get a little sneak in. You can do a little partial cut. and crouch walk in. But right now, we're definitely about to see a lot of aggression, a lot of hits going off.
Lots of damage being done here, setting them up perfectly for the execute. Maybe the Vulcans will be able to deny that time. Blackbeard, no frags left, meaning the C4 will be quite easy to bait off here. But quick, very nice read from the Mira on the bait, and that will allow Soapy to try to go for a second attempt here, but that C4 is definitely going to be tossed. Shoots it out the sky. Beautiful shot. Goyo getting taken care of. Double kill here for Adept. Who is this Blackbeard? Bolo? Quick shot by Piff here will shut out the next defender, and they have no responses. They're just taking it. The diffuser goes down. Adept still manages to stay alive alongside with Piff. What a quick flick here. Finally, Mookie gets a kill, but after what? The diffuser's down and the attackers are circling like sharks. 3v1 situation. You're on 1 HP, no C4 left in the pocket, and it looks like this game is wraps. What a plant, what a quick adaptation, because there's nothing to be done here. You have so much to do in such a little time frame. What are you going to do? You need to be paranoid. You need to check every single corner despite your health. But you will be shut out eventually from the Swiss cheese holes on your back, and that is game.
That was just a great play. As I said before, they got 2 walls open to some extent to hold angles. They got the plank down. All you gotta do is just sit on a drone and just wait for them to go for it. Because at that point, just crossfire. If you get TK'd, you TK. Who cares? Get the kill, as they did. That Maverick went around the corner. He's like, all right, there you are. Just which hole do I want to shoot you through? And he got him.
I mean, I don't even know what just happened. Quick rounds coming in here from Shoobs. We thought we were going to see some quick shots here, but quick recoveries from Shoobs give them the very well-deserved round on their opponent's pick. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we are going to be going to Border next, which is going to be Shoobs Academy's pick. So if they have it in the bag, it's going to be a very open and shut case. But maybe TSG will have that wake-up call in the very well-deserved break that they're going to need. This game is very mind-numbing when you play it for long amounts of time. So hopefully this little break that they'll be given gives them the time to talk about what went wrong. Maybe the bans were wrong, their setups were wrong. How can they adapt to how Shoobs play? Because they're getting curveballs thrown at them left and right, and they just cannot adapt. If you don't have any final thoughts here, Spaz, ladies and gentlemen, do a push-up, do a jumping jack, grab some water and some snacks, and we will be back after a short break to bring you our thoughts on that last map and what's going to be coming soon. Peace.
Put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry in the name of love. When you ride with me, don't gotta worry when tomorrow comes. I'll put you in the driver's seat. Don't gotta hurry now, 'cause we stay in control in the name of love.
Oh shit. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring back to you from the break some final thoughts on that last map. 2-7 is just not the scoreline you want to have on layer. You picked the map. Can you imagine what the hell is going to happen on border here? Yet Spaz really talking behind the scenes about what could have happened. Maybe it's just a map pick that'll skew up something that's going to just be a little bit interesting when we see border. But I think the BTA is going to stick to its name and happen to TSG this time around. Lots to be done here for the teams. I'm looking at my notes here, and all I can see, the main summary is TSG just got their asses whooped. They got dissected on attack. They got dissected on defense. What is the next idea here? How are they going to play this? They're just going to play like idiots. Are they going to completely give up? What do you think is going to go on here, Spaz?
Man, honestly, I think learning from the last match, you know that tempo was a problem because you went to a lot of rounds on both sides. It went down to like 30, 45 seconds, but there was times where it got down to like a minute. And yes, it was a little bit of a kill off and definitely an NFL draft day showcase with the C4 throws and the smokes throws. But from what TSG alone, we'll just talk about them since they're the ones that did lose that last round. They definitely need to work on their tempo and definitely their versatility of their utility. And they kind of would, at the one time, they chose Solus. Not once did she use her ability. Not once. You could have seen a lot of their abilities. There was a lot of people droning just to get the intel. But if you're not going to use the operator, just go pick Rook at that point. Just get the extra armor. You know, if you're not going to use the ability, use somebody that has like a passive, you know. And I know I'm going to get a lot of flack, but my buddy Ace will always say Thunderbird. If you don't want to pick somebody, just pick a Thunderbird. Get some extra that helps heal your players that are anchoring and stuff. But I personally hate Thunderbird. I don't know. I hate the gun. I hate the player. I hate the overall stuff with it. But what TSG needs to do, and definitely this is the map to do it. You can easily go back and forth with tempos with border. It's a way smaller map than layer. It's got a lot more angles to hold while being aggressive. It has a lot of normal hold spots. Which I mean by that is there's going to be people in places every single time, about 90% of the time, that you can predict and move around them. So this is the time where a lot of bans will happen. I know for sure one ban that will happen. Lecky, I hope you loved Mira because you will probably not play him on that player on this map. You played it too good. that person is gone, but probably not entirely. We'll probably see the Monty or Blackbeard because everybody's going to go with the meta bans.
Honestly, that's exactly how I would have put it, except for the fact that I wouldn't have. You have a way deeper analysis than I do here, because all that I'm seeing is TSG's just continuously trying to adapt to Shoobs, and they just can't, because Shoobs isn't playing by a textbook. They don't have a textbook, they just swing anything, they kind of look for something, but I don't even know. I feel like these bans are going to be really important. It's a 2-floored map, and it'll be very, very interesting to see how they'll play it. So, right now, 2 very textbook bans. You have the Monty, the Blackbeard getting taken out here, and I want your analysis. Who do you think is going to get taken out here on defense?
Azami, Valkyrie. You could do the castle if you want to be like just random with it, so that way they can't hold CCTV too easily. But definitely a mirror pick. I would get the mirror out. It's just too valuable. Valkyrie, great pick from Shoobs. Valkyrie has so many angles you can hold. You can almost see 3 sites with one Valkyrie, or 3 rooms with one Valkyrie if you do it just right. It's right there by the metal detectors. If you shoot it at the top right corner, you can see 3 rooms with it. But I would say the Azami or even the Mira. And there it is. Lecky, I hope you loved Mira. She's gone. But there's many people with C4 still. So Lecky's still able to show his Peyton Manning inside of him and being able to just launch those C4s down the road. But, of course, they're on offense this time. They get to be the aggressors first and kind of show us the pace that they're going to go for this half. I think that they're going to go off the bat kind of like a medium. They're going to start off strong, slow down a minute, drone out, get some intel, and then they're going to hit it hard at a minute or 45 seconds. They're going to hit site hard and push in. But what I'm seeing on the defense, though, I'm loving. You have the Warden for any rushes off the bat. You have the Goyo. That's at least, I think it's, 20 to 25 seconds of time being wasted if that blows up. That's perfect. That's what you want against a rush. And, of course, the Azami finally getting brought out. Get those pixel peaks and abuse them. It is still in the game. They haven't patched it yet. Use it. Sadly, I'm one of those people. If it's in the game, if it's something that they haven't fixed, it's not really an exploit. It's not even a meta either. It's just use it to your ability. You have the utility, and you definitely have enough walls here to break open to get a lot of sight lines with her. Use it right and use it correctly. Of course, CCTV, great hold. You can Azami off the double door there, get up on the table, and watch 2 other doors that you could do half walls on and just pick their feet off.
That's exactly how they're going to need to play. They need a different adaptation to how they are playing. Right now, they are gifted defense on border first. All they need is to dissect how they are playing. The main idea of attacking on this map is to find the gaps and execute on it and really pursue that singular gap until you can try to drive a wedge in between all of the remaining defenders. Right now, they have very, very extensive hold. They have the Azami, as you mentioned before. They have all the operators needed to be able to deny. But apparently they don't have the aim, because that is the 2nd mag in a row I have seen missed on this Twitch drone. As long as this thing is up, this utility will be taken out one by one. And these claws are definitely going to be first on the list, as these walls do definitely need to get open.
Yeah, I like their approach. They did go faster first, but they noticed that they did have 90 with somebody on it. So they're taking their time, trying to contest it, get this pick, and then move into 90 towards CC. I love it. Keep it moving. And just don't stagnate. You're at a minute 45 coming up. You're still in great positioning. Still start setting stuff up and start getting all this utility down for the defensive side. That's what they need to do. But at the same time as I say that, Scary takes out Toxin. One of the Cades now gone. Not going to be able to take it out. And Lecky just slowly creeping in, trying to see if he can sneak into sight.
Just edging out. It's not even a spear entry. This 417 packs a punch, but not the punch you expect. Check Africa! It is the one thing you do when you try to go for that solo pick. Ooh, what a shot here by Rin. Ixo Biff here really just threads the needle. Gets business done here. And that's a 2-man disadvantage here for TSG, or advantage, my apologies, for TSG here. 1 man left on the ground for each team. Can you get the reses up here? Legion in a safer position. Oh my god. Penguin coming here to play, and he is going to be here to find a quick headshot, and that will be what was going to be a 1v4 situation, but the quick res will allow 2 players to face up and try to push for sight here. Chegg is 100% going to bleed out here. Still so much left to be done. Sophie checking more corners here than Lecky. but still nobody aiming at Africa, and that rat spot is definitely going to prove to be painful. 30 seconds, the clock constantly running down. Check your corners, get your finishes, do what is needed to be done, but you weren't expecting that quick flank, and that's East pushes, completely dissected. Sophie getting taken care of, and now these Goyos makes it so anybody walking in through East will have to eat fire for the remainder of the round. Can't get past over the first barricade, as now Mookie the Wan standing in between the one striker and Fountain will be shut out, and that will be a first very, very, very faithful round coming in here for TSG. They're proving themselves right now, and they need to keep pushing this if they want to go to map 3.
Yeah, that was a great rebound coming off that 7-2 loss, or well, no, 7-3 loss, and they needed that round. That is definitely a morale boost, but of course, Shoobs, this isn't going to phase them. Okay, first round. Who cares? Move on to the next one, and they are definitely going to be ready to go. We have an ace. We have a Ram. A Ram, definitely a good pick. Get the top down. Get a lot of the aerial support. But what I'm seeing right now is piffs on the Dokkaebi. And of course, that got banned last round. This is definitely going to just be a nuisance pick. This is something to just annoy their roamers. Not really to, like, only sound cue them and give away their positions, but this is going to probably push them to give up ground, mainly. Not really just to get the kill, but this is going to make them get unconfident. This is going to make them get nervous in where they're at and hope that they don't get killed where they're holding, and just cause them to shift the map holds to where it's going to help Shoobs gain the ground that they need to get to those hatches. If they can get both of these hatches open and then start to push from open area, they should have no problem going right into sight. But, of course, you got to get to those places. You do have a Goyo, and I think it is a Legion. Yes, a Legion on the prowl, just going for the roam, trying to get some early picks, opening up the wall there. And you hunkering down, Mucky, ready for the push into CC whenever.
Something I want to mention, though, you've heard the saying, or maybe you haven't because I've just made it up now on the spot. When you extend everywhere, you're not really holding it. You have so many players sitting off site. You have so many players trying to cover as much space on the map. You're not really hunkering down onto site. You have the hatches open. You have the verticality. But right now, can you find a pick or two without getting completely dissected? Because essentially, you're going to allow the attackers to pull up on you. Mookie right now is going to be alongside with the castle. Penguin finally finding another first blood here as he takes care of Soapy. And these defenders, TSG, are having a blast playing on defense first, as they're really finding their first picks. They're getting things done. They're taking their time, and it's working out beautifully. Right now, they just need to take their time to get their utility down. These attackers getting suffered picks after suffered picks, and right now, they're going to have to continue and rush their plays. They're not checking their corners here, and the thing that differentiates them between TSG is how they adapt to each other's plays. If Shoobs continue to struggle against them on border, we are going to see a very interesting halftime here, as you mentioned before. Double kill here as Mookie takes care of Lecky and Scary. Quick refragged onto Toxin. What's new, Scooby-Doo? He's 0-2 with BTA in his name. 3v4 and a minute 10 left on the clock. Lots to be done here, but Scary almost finding a very essential third pick, but it will be confirmed by Adept. Piff for the next onto Penguin in a complete turn of events. Vigil lower than his 50 HP threshold, and still so much left to be done here for the attackers, but they are sitting at a lot. They have so much to do, and they can do it in a timely fashion. They have 50 seconds. They're getting their drones in. So much utility to their names. They have the frags. They have the flashes. They have so much utility. They have everything needed to be able to execute, and that's exactly what they'll do. They'll get aggressive here with the gunfight. But if Shoobs were to be smart, they would have left the man upstairs here. But that's exactly what they're not going to do. Plant going down here. Verticality giving completely to this Vigil. But I think Shoobs are smart enough to know he's on the hatch. That's exactly what the case is here. Defuse is down. Are you going to try to defuse in the middle of the site here, Vigil? 3 gunfights you need to take, but you can't even isolate the first as Adept takes your head off and confirms the round. Shoobs get past very narrowly as they suffered 2 picks, and now they'll manage to turn it around.
Yeah, that was a great hold. And I think the reason why, I know you said like they should have held one on top. I think they knew with the Vigil being by the stairs, they baited him into going upstairs and trying to get it. And what was great is they went down the site as soon as they got the kill. And again, something that TSG messed up with before. They had no one on site. no one's on site. As soon as someone dies, you should go back to site. That is just a rule of thought for anyway. It's not even a saying. When you are losing your anchors, you have to go back and hold your site. Yeah, you might want to roam, but that's why a lot of players on defense should start to become flex players, because if you're not able to be confident in anchoring down your site and you only feel like you're good outside of it on the roam or on the lurk or moving around and not actually being able to hold the site alone, that's a problem for your defense. That's a hold, that's a break. And honestly, if I was Shoobs right now and I knew that they did not like to rotate back to site, I would focus their anchors every single time and pick those guys off.
5 seconds to go.
A little interesting here. I would have thought they would have went ventilation to try to switch things up, but that bathroom take, it was completely theirs, but it was all about their time management here that really made them suffer. Some players stuck their faces into some holes that were not needed to be peeked, and they made sure they paid the price here. Perfect capitalization by Shoobs Academy, and if they can continue to do this, their attacking will be successful, as again, they land some opening damage onto this castle. Still lots to be done, but the question is, can they execute? Can they find this first pick, which they haven't been able to find for these last 2 rounds now? They've always been the first fatality. They can continue this path. Maybe it'll be a little bit harder for them to capitalize, but if they can change this narrative, they are going to have a blessing of a time on attack. Vigil on jail, maybe finding a quick gunfight here, but Lecky getting taken down to 1 HP, but first blood, they did get the first pick, but they instantly got traded out, and their man is on 1 HP. They walk out of that gunfight not victorious, and they are going to suffer for the rest of the round. They didn't check the corners, they didn't get their checklist done, and they have paid the price.
Yeah, but they did gain control of CC as pretty much all of TSG has just left the top floor and has just flooded down to the first floor. So that gives them all verticality. They still have the ram up, as well as the dev. The dev has the hard breaches. They can get pretty much hatches and majority of the floor opened up and start picking off these people with just the angles that they'll be able to get now, getting up on top of desks just to get that 1 pixel to be able to see them. And it does look like Penguin is going to try to contest this a little bit, but he's just at a bad angle. I would just let them have that hatch, open up the wall, and just watch it. Wait for them to drop or wait for them to try to get intel to get a different angle.
Lecky really needs to be careful of where he's going. Just look at that HP.
Oh
almost no freedom. He's on 1 on the dot. A Pokeball. I'm pretty sure if a zombie threw her Kiba at him, he would be down. But right now, it's at a stalemate. It's a 4v4. It's been quiet for so long. It's kind of pushing me towards the end, where I like to say this is the time where attackers start droning and the defenders start to brace themselves for the impact, because this is where the utility starts getting used and the kills start raining in. Scary for 1 onto Rin, and site control has been given to Piff. Now, where are the defenders in the A chassis? We have Castle going for a flank here, but this time it looks like Shoobs have learned and left a person upstairs here. The next point of analysis is to get that bomb down, but he does eat a Legion Mine, and he does go down. He had 1 HP next to his name, and that's exactly what made him pay the price. Still, lots of gunfights left here. 30 seconds left on the clock in Shoobs Academy, trying to build up their play. Lecky gets rezzed somehow, is gonna get the bomb down, 75%, while Piff finds the kill onto Penguin. 20 seconds, the bomb finally goes down, and still, they can just sit back and wait, but no, they're just gonna get aggressive here. Scary will take care of Toxin, and a 4v1 between Workshop and Bathroom is just gonna be open season. Quick hop in from Jake here. Quick shot, quick flick takes care of Piff. Crosshair placement, absolutely amazing here. Still lots to be done. Oh, he's fighting his way out of this. He is not quite ready to call this round over, but there's still so many more bodies. But oh my god, he's going crazy. A triple kill next to his name, struggling to find the bomb, but still so much left to be done. 11 seconds. If he doesn't get his hands on that case, the fuse time will be over, but it can be called a commendable effort as he took down 3 bodies with him before he was eventually claimed off that window. Well-deserved round by SpaceShoobs, in a very, very well close round here for TSG, as they have that 1-man superstar try to push it.
Man, I really thought that Chegg was about to pull it out. I was like, oh my gosh, all he has to do is just line these next 2 kills up, and he's got it. Because they were pretty, I think one of them was only full health, and the other one was half. Heck, with that Deagle, he would have been able to just mop the floor. But something I noticed at the very beginning, like he had the diffuser the whole time, he got really lucky he did not get killed on the balcony, because that would have been a horrible placement for that diffuser to be for the remainder of the round, because they would have easily been able to hold that angle and made them have to use so much utility just to get the diffuser back, which would have definitely caused them not to get to where they were. But something he could have did too if you only have 1 health left, you will get knocked. So if you go from fall damage, you won't die instantly. So what you could have did, which is like something you don't want to really think on the moment, this is just a little side fact for everybody that wants to play ranked and you ever get in that scenario, just go to the roof, jump off, have your teammate revive you, and you'll get like, I think it's like 15 HP instead of 1, because he was 1 shot. Like as he said, he would have been pokeballed, captured in somebody's inside of somebody's Pokédex as Lecky, the downed one.
5 seconds left before insertion.
That was an interesting way to put it. They're gonna go back up to Armory, the only site they have won so far on their defensive campaign. The perimeter unlocks it, so they're given this second blessed chance. If they can replicate exactly what they did that first round and punish SpaceShoobs the same way, they're going to have a great time. But right now, the kid is loose on the bottom half of the east balcony, and you gotta get to running because there is no push without this kit. Lots of gunfights to be isolated here, and hopefully jail is the main point of push, as they have brought that blitz. They brought the chaotic operators here, and if they can manage to find that first kill into security, this is going to be a god-given gift that'll allow them to slow down and use their utility. Exactly what'll happen here. Blitz almost having an easy kill. Will actually isolate the gunfight. What the hell is a zombie doing on jail? Closes her eyes as Adept gets that quick kill. He's so hungry. Instead of getting 1, he gets 2 on his own teammate. And wow, so passionate, he killed his own teammate, cold-blooded, and 3 bodies have dropped in a matter of a minute here. What is going on, Border? That Call of Duty styled map, it's like Coastline as Penguin finds the other onto Soapy. What is going on here? Scary is still isolating his gunfights, looking for Penguin, but it is looking like we are starting to calm down as Vigil starts to seek Asylum into sight and needs to slow it down now.
Oh man, that was just the turn of events. Everybody got a little amped up on the adrenaline. Adept's just like, oh, take everybody out. Piff goes down. He's like, oh no. And overall, great push with the blitz for sure, but that was not the time to aim down the sights. You definitely don't want to aim down when you're alone. Only do it when you have backup. Lecky, knowing that Joey was behind that, ready for Randy just to sit up and just take the head off. Adept starting to move around into Africa, and right now they got some nice angles, but they do have a lot of flanks open for the Legion and or Vigil Penguin to be able to just flank them right now. They are not in a good stance.
All about how they use their utility here. Right now, TSG have managed to emerge victorious in those last couple of gunfights, but Lecky has a word with him for that. Reclaims that man advantage in a matter of 5 seconds here. Quick flicks with those 417 bullets is going to allow him to get a good amount of map control. Jake here really knows what he wants to do, but just doesn't have the game sense to hear the Twitch run into security. Quick shot here by SpaceShoobs. This is played so well by them. We thought that first round was a display on how TSG are going to try to bring it back, but Shoobs, no. Just give them that little lifeline and then continue to pummel them round after round, as now they can't even find a rescue in the site they won first. And TSG call a very well-needed timeout here between the 4th and 5th, or the 3rd and 4th round here.
I just want to give credit where credit's due. Lecky, with his knowledge and being able to keep aware of the situations of every map for these past 2 maps, he might not be the top of the leaderboard on either one. Like, I think he was in the middle of the pack on both of them, but still being able to adapt and be able to know when to rotate and read your opponent is just phenomenal. With his C4s, with his rotations, with knowing where they're going and just kind of be able to predict them is just helping this team so much and be able to retake control. And of course his aim right there, those taps onto TSG were just phenomenal. I looked at it, I was like, oh, you cannot get a better lineup than that in a more perfected shot.
Again, you just keep hitting it. Nail on the opposite, however you want to call it out here, but I think the main takeaway here that me and you have both been highlighting, TSG just need to wake up. There's no sugarcoating it. They're falling short now, the Shoobs, and how they're playing, because these curveballs are, yes, very hard to read, but there just has to be some form of teamwork here. We saw that in security. We have a blitz hopping in through the most easily accessible window in security, and honestly the easiest to shoot somebody off of, but no. A zombie just leaves her smoke left to die here, and the only lifeline you were given is the fact that Adept got kill hungry and executed his own teammate.
Oh yeah, 100%. If he didn't kill Piff there, I 100% believe they would have definitely been able to keep pushing and probably end the round way sooner. Now, of course, it wasn't just Piff alone. There was Vigil on the prowl. He was able to get a few flanks, but Piff with the Dokkaebi calls, that was just basically just being not really toxic, but just annoying TSG having to stop and keep rotating from those. And early peek,
no,
why would you peek it? You just
doing?
lost the last round. Now we're throwing. Why are we going for spawn kills? We are not in the stance to do it. You're down 3-1. Why would you risk that? That was a horrible play. They knew that they were going to do something ballsy, but there's ballsy and then there's just flat out insane.
He's lost his mind, honestly. What the hell is the zombie doing? Loses all of her key buzz in stance now. That's going to be crucial to deal with later in the game. No utility. Security's open season here for anybody sitting in jail. Somehow Goyo wins that gunfight, but it's a double for Soapy to make sure that gunfight, that blood for his own team doesn't go unnoticed. Completely useless kill here, as now the blitz does go down with all of that map control. But how much map control do you actually want now? You went up 2 picks in turn, and you've shredded off the HP of everybody who gets in your way. Piff winning his first gunfight. Penguin left at essentially 20 HP, or lower than 20 HP, actually, maybe 10, and looking to win his gunfights, but not very easily. Still so much left to be done here, and Piff ends out the round, because what is new? What's going on here? They are getting completely dismantled round by round. Timeout allowed them to sit down and get dissected even worse, as we were 1 round shy away from the half, and they are trailing by 3 rounds.
What do you think went on in that timeout? Do you think they went, guys, I got an idea. Why don't I spawn peek? You know, like I think that's gonna win us the round. That spawn peek was like, that is, dude, this isn't ranked, nor is this collegiate. Like this is like beyond all that. You're gonna expect spawn peeks. They're gonna expect. I would rather spawn peek than a full-blown freaking run out. Like, why are we running out, exposing ourselves in the one spot with the least cover? You'd be better running out, blowing out the bottom, running out an APC, and be able to just try to take the one-on-one there and have more cover rather than exposing your whole head and upper body to the whole like 3/5 of the or 3/5 of the team. Right there. That was a horrible play. Hopefully that does not happen again. That is a total misplay. That pretty much opened them to just full-on rush. And like I said before, now Shoobs are in the perfect spot right now to just go full-on. Rush, rush, rush. Do not worry about tactics. Go for kills. Because right now, TSG, after that round, I would be tilted. I would not be feeling right in the best space. And as Anthony Mackie would say, cut the check. Get it moving.
How does one obtain so much general knowledge? Quick run.
Oh my gosh, another run out! How does it work? That shouldn't work!
I mean, honestly, it shouldn't. Quick run in here. I guess second time's the charm, as you'll find that kill. But really, you've taken care of Piff now. Still, good kill, but you have to relax. Maybe not get as aggressive, because we've seen TSG get a gunfight and proceed to stick their face into every single possible gunfight they can take here. It's all about their time. And for some reason, they go onto one of the least covered vertical holds with no castle. So, a lot to be analyzed here, a lot to be done. The verticality operators still stand. They still have the spear entry, and they still have the hard breacher. How are they going to be able to adapt here? Because we've seen the aggression coming in here from SpaceShoobs. Okay, never mind. You know what? This round is TSG's because the depth is booting up Clash of Clans mid-round. That's 2 picks here. Two very easy picks coming in here for TSG, as they have to practically do nothing now for the rest of the round. They can sit in corners and run out the clock.
I'm just amazed that they went right back for it again. Penguin with a great read on the pulse. That was a great play down from below. Definitely a pocket pick. Pulse isn't played as much, and I would not expect it myself. Right now, like he's trying to get the Azami being held down inside of archives right now. Oh, able to get the quick peek. But now it is just down to Lecky. 1v4. Can he do it? Can he beat the superstar to bring it to 5-1, or is it going to be a 4-2 ending the half?
4-2 ending the half it is. I don't even know. I don't know. You see, it's kind of the caster's intuition. I called this 4 rounds ago that if they had tried to go ventilation, they would have had success. Nobody listened to me, and they got pummeled on every other side. But still, they started off the game with a round win, and they started off and ended off the half with a round win. So now they're going to have to head on over to attack with only 2 rounds in hand. So 7-2 is a very, very possible choice here for Shoobs Academy if they can play it right. But TSG ending this off with a win, give themselves a little bit more breathing room, and they have changed the narrative a little bit. 4-2, way easier to come back from 5-1, just like we mentioned last game. So let's see how they are going to use this little gift to their advantage.
I'm so pissed off that worked. That Jake should not have gotten that kill. There was 3 people there, and he was almost able to get a double on that. Like, why would you not expect it 2 rounds in a row? But of course, maybe they were just goofing around. 4-1 going into that round. Of course, I probably would have just tried to just YOLO it, try to get the last one. They have nothing to worry about. 4-2 starting the second half. You know, they probably just went in thinking, hey, let's just have fun this round. You know, let's take this as a breather. You know, as you can tell, they weren't really too adamant on going with any strat. They kind of just pushed in like they did the round before and just tried to get kills. So, but at the same time, TSG, wow. Piff, I love you to death, but I can't deal with the spawn peaks anymore. Please, you guys are gonna give me a heart attack. But I think he tried to throw a Fenrir outside, which actually isn't a bad idea if you are gonna try to get a little bit of some peaks on the outside. But I think that's a little bit of waste of utility. They'll just be able to shoot it. They'll be able to see it a lot easier than they would on the inside. But oh, do you see that right there? They left the wall soft.
Doing the Canadian Mira without the Mira. They're just doing the armory denial hold here, and it's easier to try to keep that wall closed now that you have the easy quick peek windows. But this only matters if you keep Jail closed down. First pick takes care of Mookie, which means Jail is definitely going to be taken care of for a little bit. And that is the shield up gone as well. I'm just now taking it in. So much left to be done here for TSG. So much utility to get rid of. But Blitz taken care of now means everything needs to be taken care of with an extra step, as TSG are going to need to do a lot more in a shorter amount of time with no map control here. Penguin and Piff get into a gunfight here, but it'll be Piff that will ease back, take more damage, and now is going to be relaxing. It's all about the time here, and it looks like SpaceShoobs Academy just needs to keep running down the clock. If they can ideally get this below a minute with most of their bodies still up, this is going to be a very open and shut round.
All right, right now they got a nice hold. Nice man advantage, and oh, great angle right there. Almost a little bit too open. If he only had the one open, Scary just starting to get scared, getting really low, but Lucky able to just back him up and take out Chegg, but also getting taken out by Ren. Nice little trade there, making it a 3v4.
Finally, somebody took care of him, but honestly, you don't have a flank watch. You have the Nomad with no Nomads placed down. I'm gonna freak out. And that gets 2 very easy kills here. Honestly, throw their headsets out the window because it looks like they're just not working. They're down 3 bodies. 1 man left to finish the task. If they win this round, they will be 1 shy off of match point. TSG, you've been doing so great up until this point. It looks like you've just come here to lose. So much left to do here. And Nomad had the run out initially air jabbed off, but she didn't have the east walk up. Questions to be asked, interesting questions to be asked here, as these gunfights are still going to be very aggressive, but 30 seconds left on the clock. Shoobs can do whatever the hell they want, and somehow he wins the gunfight.
Man. Oh, now you gotta do him like that, Scary. I thought you were just playing with him the whole time, just to like kind of distract him. Nah, he was actually going for the gunfight. I'm proud of him. That's the kind of runouts I like, you know. Whenever you're trying to bait them and let them know, hey, I'm about to run out on you and kill you. Just be ready. And he got him. But like you said, man, like, what is TSG doing? They did so well starting off.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being
They were doing so good to start, though. They did not have a bad start into this round. Really fire.
I want you to take a second. All rounds in the past disregarded. I want you to take a second, look back and look at this roster being brought here for the defenders and the attackers. There's only one operator that's a little interesting here for TSG being defused. Alibi and Solus is this 2021. This is going to be a very interesting defensive hold.
It's not. Because look, you're going against the Twitch and you're going against the Lion. Lion gets pinged whenever he uses it. No, never mind. He's gone. Gridlock. That sucks. But Dokubi, she gets used whenever she uses her Dokubi's attack. So as long as Piff uses the Solus, unlike TSG didn't use it, as long as he uses it, he should be able to see majority of the people on this side. At least 2 of them right now. So Dokubi and Twitch will be seen. But I like the usage of the shotgun. I don't get to see the shotgun used a lot. It's a very fun shotgun. So Piff definitely going for a fun round, trying to make it fun with. He is the spawn peaks working. This should not work. What are we in? Ranked?
Yeah, I don't know. Call of Duty lobby. This is why, I don't know. Personal opinion, border sucks, but honestly, the aggression unmatched here for SpaceShoobs. They're sending a message to TSG. Whatever you can do, I can do better. As these spawn peaks are now 2 for 2. They found 2 very easy kills, and now they've taken care of spear entry yet again. Meaning they can sit back and relax, but knowing this team, they're definitely not going to relax. And watch that wide swing. What's new, Scooby-Doo, as Soapy takes care of the ram. No more verticality. You can kiss that goodbye. You have flank watch, but for what operators if everybody who is going to take upstairs is dead now? Penguin trying to get aggressive here. Thank you. Somebody on TSG has their eyes open. That'll be a kill. Tries to slow down the bleeding. Well done, Penguin, as he manages to slow it down. All these defenders have to rethink what they want to do here. Almost a refrag taking care of Scary, or maybe one, as he's going to remain aggressive. But now, Shoobs have to be aware of what they're going to be doing, as they don't have as easy as an advantage or a cushion on their man advantage. And there it is, now all evened out.
Man, that's just the turn of events right there. I really thought that Shoobs were going to just kind of sweep right there, but now they're in a 2v3, Red able to take out Adept. But, of course, Likey on the alibi, a very fast operator, and then Soapy on the Warden. Probably not the best 2 to have, but definitely Warden being in one of the last operators alive in a 2v3 scenario. Definitely very likely, just because of the flash grenades and the smoke grenades. As long as he stays on site, he's going to be pretty much the one that ended out for Shoobs Academy here. This is probably the best scenario they could have with
Those
the utility left.
Capcans.
And yeah.
What?
Yeah, and the Capcans. There's like, what, 2 or 3 Capcans still yet to be set off?
What are you looking at? Alibi again. I feel like everybody's just taking off their headsets. I don't know why everyone's playing like this. The Capcan hit the Dokkaebi and she didn't take damage.
Really?
Look at how she took 1 hit of damage. Warden being left here in the 1v3. 30 seconds left on the clock. And still lots to be done here. The air jabs haven't been placed. It was a very easy flank. They were all placed outside of the building. Very easy flank, which did not happen. Now Soapy left to deal with this insane amount of pressure being dealt from above, as they are really trying to claim site. Verticality being established. There are boots on the ground here, as Penguin just gets an easy wallbang, closes out the round, and TSG come back from a 2-man deficit.
Man, if I keep seeing these spawn peaks, I'm gonna retire. This is gonna be my last one, guys. I can't understand it. It's working too, and it just blows my mind. But honest to goodness, this might be TSG's, of course, 5-3 scenario, just like last map. Maybe they're starting to get some momentum back, you know. Maybe they know how to actually take this on, but the thing is, they didn't win the beginning of that round. They were losing pretty harshly. It was like, what, a 5v3 majority there, or a 5v4?
Mm-hmm.
And they were just able to get the picks just for movement. And, of course, that took about a minute of the time. Yet again, it almost went to time again. And we're down in ventilation right now. This is going to be pretty much the round to win that's going to teeter on how Shoobs go about it. You know, you got Piff on the Fenrir. He's been doing great on it all day. And Scary back on Smoke. Soapy now on the Solus. So Solus is definitely wanting to be played here. But now is it used for more versatility and because of how quick the operator is? Maybe. And the shotgun is very good for Solus. But you got to think of what the other team's doing. Do we see a Roora about to come out with a Ying? So I think they may try to close off, what is it, B-site? Yeah, they're going to close off B-site. Probably smoke it out with the glass. Blitz is going to go in to take over control of it. Roar's going to go in, shoot her doorway, plant, and then Ash and Ying are going to basically just give you on flank watch. That's my guess of what this play is about to be.
Completely disregarding the fact that there is Solus and C4s on the board, though, so they are going to have to be a little careful when they approach it. Lots to be done. The question is, are they going to be able to execute it? Because he's trying to hit the barbed wire from outside, but his shield thumps are going to be heard. Playing upstairs is very, very easy to be able to find these plants. That's exactly why a lot of teams prefer to do it. But why is everybody just swinging? The aggression is starting to work here for both teams. But again, it all comes at a cost. Piff and Lucky are the ones to take heavy amounts of damage here. Jig being the lowest out of the 3 and now being below 20 HP and forced to be that person who's going to have to stick his face into doorways when he wants to use his utility. A minute burned off the clock, and it's a bunch of tomfoolery going around this map, because what is this site setup?
Oh, man. Did they not barricade any of the walls on site?
And manage to find first blood. Make it make sense. TSG lose their first body, and now you have the Glaz able to use his ability. But common sense tells Shoobs not to swing in. I highly doubt that's going to be the case. Blitz completely forgetting that people can shoot his body and gets taken care of, and that is a 4v2. I think Blitz thinks he's playing a completely different game, and now you've left two operators, one very low and the other one has a DMR, and that's exactly what happens when you have a DMR. It does a lot of damage, but really won't win against a fully automatic in close range. Teague finally finding one kill, still 3 left to go, and you're at that 1 minute mark. 2 players on the verticality, 1 is downed. You are in a horrible spot. Considering Soapy might use his utility, this round is very much over unless...
Oh, man. That would have been impressive if he would have used the knowledge to shoot, because he just shot him from that angle.
All about this clock boiling down. Using his utility, the case is in hand, but his head isn't on his head. There you go. It's the best way to say that. Gets put on a t-shirt. That's the round for SpaceShoobs, and that, you know what? I'm not even going to get mean. Well played, TSG. You still have more to play.
It's just how does that? I'm amazed that they won that defense with not even barricading the whole wall. Like, they didn't even barricade bathroom. They didn't barricade main lobby. They just barricaded up top.
Yeah,
I'm amazed. They could have literally ran into sight. TSG could have just full-on bomb rushed it with the blitz and stuff, and they messed it up.
Yeah,
but
I mean, yeah, that was disappointing. But
now,
I mean,
I do like what I'm seeing right now. Bringing the Brava to counter Piff. If you can get control of those fenders, it's gonna just be a nuisance for Shoobs Academy right now, as well as an Aruni. If they can get an Aruni gate, especially if they get put on the walls, they won't even have to worry about any flanks. The main ones to get, I would probably, if they have any single one between a site, like if they put one right there at the doorway between archives and metal detectors, oh man, all you gotta do is just fight for B at that point, because then you don't even have to worry about A, because they have to basically use their utility, and they really wouldn't have much to throw through it. They're gonna have to eat that hit. So that's gonna definitely be the utility to go for. Here we go, spawn peek again. Can he get it?
Nope,
Not today.
very dead, as he has now been taken care of, and that is the top fragger here for Shoobs Academy. You were speaking on that Brava, but guess what? She's not being brought. As she switched out, very heavily used weapon, very useful, but she starved out. The aggression is actually just unmatched. I'm getting tired of it. I feel like I'm overstimulated at this point, as every player on Shoobs Academy sees a door that's open and takes it as initiative to stick their face into it. That's first blood now, as Scary gets taken care of and Penguin gets traded out instantly again. And Soapy is still continuously running out here. Toxin had the opportunity to go Brava here, but he will rely on that ace instead. Always a safe pick, and they do need him for those walls. Now, it's all going to be at a stalemate while these players hope to drone. At least I would hope. If I see one more shred of aggression, I've completely lost my mind. But now, we were talking about how important this Brava was. No longer being brought, these Arena gates are going to be absolutely crucial to deal with alongside with these F-Nots. It's going to be open season if TSG try to waltz in the side here.
Well, you also have all these fenders right now. Piff has been great on the fender, but it gets taken out. As I said, I have the curse. You know, Piff went down, but he does have one fender still activated, and it is the crucial one to B site. So that is what's good. He does have the main site one covered at least before going down. But right now, Lecky ready for the helmet to walk through. Not connecting the headshot there sucks, but that is what it is.
Look at the awareness from him. He knows exactly what's going to happen. He anticipated the 2 swings, one on the east door and one on the balcony door here. Adept taking most of the damage as well. The defenders are starting to get isolated here one by one, and their health is starting to slowly deteriorate here. They're at a minute, and right now they're allowing themselves to get isolated. Lecky swinging. What the hell did you expect here, as you're completely taken care of, but Adept getting a kill of his own somehow. 1 HP, you just needed to hit him once. Deimos using his death mark on one man, but completely unaware there's another one creeping up behind him, and he will find that second kill. It looks like these team Kryptonites are just vigil, because what the hell goes on here? Adept getting a quick trade, getting a kill here. He's found 2 before getting taken care of, and Chaig will be the one to find 3 kills as well to finally close out a round for TSG. Feels refreshing when I say it. So refreshing. In fact, I start stuttering at this point because we haven't called a round victory for them in a minute here. We're still on match point though. So TSG found their starting mark, but still 2 rounds to bring it back from.
Yeah, match point. But they have 2 rounds to tie it. Still very doable for TSG to come back. But they gotta, like, honest to goodness, I think Shoobs need to back off. Just play it safe. Win your round. You have 1 round to win. Why are we doing these spawn peaks? We don't need to be that aggressive. They can easily step back for a minute and take the time. They have the skill. They have the setups. And they don't need to be overly aggressive. It's not like at the beginning of the round. Like, you can get it for like the start of the half. You know, you want to get the early kills. You want to try to get that advantage. But when it's a 6-3, now 6-4 match point, you need to try to go for the win so you don't have to go to map 3. Because map 3 is going to suck. Labs is not going to be a fun map for either team. It's going to be a very intense and very linear map. It's going to be a lot of different angles being played. You need to end it out here because nobody wants to play on that map.
I would be very entertained on Nighthaven, if I do say so myself, because that is the only team that both teams have a record on it. And for the, 70th time this series, Soapy goes for a run out. Again.
Thankfully, he immediately backed off.
Again, take a look at TSG's lineup. Is he going to throw? Because
send it. Full send it.
Oh, no, this isn't something we should be motivating. Amaru, kit is in hand. And you guys are down 2 rounds on match point. If you lose
it's open. It's open.
Goodbye.
There's no one in there. There's only Piff. He could do it right now. Capital's going to smoke it off. He's going to go in, kill Piff, immediately plant. That's what I'm calling right now.
That's what you're calling, but he's droning it out here. They have that Legion shotgun in hand, and he is still waiting ever so patiently. Piff isn't an easy target, yo. Oh, he's going to do it. Oh, he's actually going to line up for it. Piff finding 1, and he's finding 2. The man's a demon. He'll manage to find almost a 3rd. Gets taken care of. Case loose. That's game. Getting hit by goo mines. Getting hit by everything. You have no surges, apparently. Finkel waltzing in with her head so far up, a place I can't say on stream. She'll get taken care of as well. Toxin below 50 HP. The kit loose. He has 2 flame bolts left. 1:45, and he's baiting outside. I think it's safe to say that this game and series is over. SpaceShoobs simply outplaying as that Legion shotgun, 1 to the center mass of your body, and you're taken care of. GG's, well played, and that's Shoobs Academy to head on over to the semifinals.
I'm amazed he did not have a pre-placed drone. You're telling me you were still droning before you were gonna Maru win. If you're gonna pick a Maru, have a pre-placed drone. And so Piff got double kill, and you're like, I'm gonna send it anyways. I'm gonna be that guy. That's not.
Oh man, yeah,
that's not the way to
rough.
end that. That's not good. He's about to get flamed. Twitter's about to be awesome. I can't wait to retweet stuff.
I'll be the one posting.
Yep.
I mean, it was well played by TSG those last 2 rounds, where they were really trying to starve out Shoobs for all of the progress they were making. They were really dissecting every single play here. They were droning out. Even when they went down 2 bodies, they didn't give up and they brought it back. But again, you can't do that and then proceed to forward it into an Amaru play. Like, it just doesn't work. We're not in year 5. We're not playing casual. You're not Marley. It doesn't matter. And it's an absolute questionable play here. So it was very well deserved here for Shoobs Academy. Do you have any final thoughts here, Spaz, before I end this off?
I think Shoobs Academy did very great tonight. And going into the semis, they definitely need to be more humble. I think tonight wasn't really a good entry into the semis. Nothing against TSG. It's just that was kind of lackluster, especially with that layer map. You know, it's not really a map you want to go into semis with. You know, definitely need to try to do some self-film and try to watch their own mistakes, because there was times where they, like spawn peaks. There was a few spawn peaks, like, yeah, it worked out great, but then Scary and Soapy doing the same ones and not getting anything and even getting killed for it. They're like, there's times where that needs to be happening and times where not. But one thing they don't need to work on, they do not need to work on their C4 throws. They are NFL stars, #1 draft picks all day.
I mean, you couldn't have worded it better. I feel like there's a lot of key takeaways that they're going to be looking at when they do this VOD review. It was a very well-deserved victory to Shoobs, and TSG can do nothing but learn from it. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been your casters. I've been Sino. This has been my main man, Spaz. Hope you guys have a great night. Make sure to follow, subscribe if you are feeling naughty, and make sure to stay tuned as this only starts to pick up the pace as we are starting to slowly inch towards that grand final. Peace.